balita ho tayo mga kaumbo at kuha ho tayo ng reaksyon mula ho sa isang miyembro ng Integrated Bar of the Philippines, batikang abogado si Attorney Jojo Lacanilaw. Kasama ho natin ngayong umagang ito para sa mga naturang itong nauna ho natin mga naibalita, lalo ho yung nangyayari dyan sa may bahagi ng Senado. Magandang araw ho sa inyo and welcome sa Bombo Radio Philippines, Attorney Jojo Lacanilaw, Sir, si Bombo Genesis at Bombo Jai ho ito. Ay ho'y live na napapanood at napapakinggan sa Bombo Radio Philippines nationwide, Attorney.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Thank you for having me on.
Maraming salamat for joining us sa Bombo Radio Philippines, Attorney. Sa 32 stations sa Bombo Radio Philippines, napapanood at napapakinggan po tayo. Okay, naglabas po kahapon ng Integrated Bar of the Philippines ng isang statement pahayag at sinasabi ho dito na legal at valid yung nangyaring session noong nakalipas na it was June 3, na naghalal doon kay Senator Sherwin Gatchalian bilang acting Senate President. Anong take ho ninyo dito at ano po ang konteksto noon pong inilabas na pahayag ng Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Attorney?
Well, I guess yung mga IBP, na mga abogado, they're trying to weigh in sa mga nangyayari. Alam mo, sa pagtitingin ko dun sa batas at sa mga nangyayari, parang nasa side ng batas yung mga nag-take over huli, sila Win Gatchalian at yung grupo ng dating minority. Kasi nasa constitution natin na pagpili ng presidente, kailangan majority ng buong Senado, which is 24. So kailangan talaga 13. Pero other than that, ang constitution kasi sinabi, the Senate can choose other officers other than the president. So hindi lahat kailangan 13 out of 24. So, at pinapayagan din ng Constitution na ang business ng Senado gawin ng majority ng Senado, which means hindi yung absolute majority na 13. No? So, kapag kung sino yung present at majority nun, pwede yun. So, pasado yung 12. No? Kasi, especially, pag pumunta na tayo dun sa Avellino versus Cuenco na sinabi ng Supreme Court na yung denominator, maaaring bumaba yun kasi may mga senador. In that case, yung isa nasa Amerika at hindi nila makompel, so 23 lang. So sabi ng Supreme Court, 12 pwede na. So dun sila, I think, binatay ng mga dating minority doon sa batas na yon at sinabi nila na we can declare all positions in the Senate vacant kasama yung committee, kasama yung presidency. So binacant nila yon, pero hindi sila makapag-elect ng permanent SP, Senate President, kasi 13. Kaya ang naging designation ni Win Gatchalian is acting, or pro temp. So, andun yung debate, and I think most lawyers weigh in and say na tama yung nangyari na yun. Kaya ako, I also agree with that. Of course, there are divisions sa mga opinions, pero I think it's more on the side of the law on what's yung sinabi ng mga nakaraang etong huling nag-take over. At tama naman sa aking palagay. Kasi it's a little absurd, di ba? Kung titignan mo, 12 yung ngayong majority at natira na lang na makakaboto dun sa kabila is 10. Hindi naman pwedeng manaig ang 10 over 12. Sasabihin nila, mali kayo, kami ang tama. So it's just absurd. Pero hindi lang nila makakuha yung 13 votes, and who knows, they may get it soon, para makaboto talaga ng parang full-time Senate President.
Pero ang contention po ng ilang mga kritiko doon sa naganap na session na yun, attorneys, that yung ruling na yun ng Supreme Court ay under pa sa 1935 Philippine Constitution, which is mga 70 years na, nakakalipas. So tayo nasa 1987 Constitution na. Valid ho ba yung ganitong contention, attorney?
No, I don't think so. Kasi yung 1935 Constitution, pag kinumpara man sa 1987, there's not much change doon sa specific provision na yon ng Article 16. At ang isa lang talagang malinaw doon na binago ng 1987 Constitution is yung election ng Senate President na dapat 13. Absolute number, majority of the whole Senate. Yun lang naman ang binago. All the rest, tapos sinabi rin ng bagong constitution that the Senate can elect any of its officers, hindi sinabi kung sino, so bahala na yung Senate. And then consistent naman yung ruling na yan na sinasabi, hindi makikialam ang Supreme Court sa internal rules ng Senado. So, gumawa ang Senado, some of the contention sa pinapakita nila yung Rule 2 no, ng Senado. At sinasabi na, ito, nire-require kasi doon nire-require doon na dapat majority of the whole Senate ang pagboto sa mga officers, no? Kaya sinasabi nila na yung mga committee chairs, hindi yan talaga pwede. Kailangan 13. Pero ano yun internal rules yun So kumbaga, sila-sila rin yun, di ba? Sila-sila rin yun. Ngayon, sa kasalukuyan ngayon, 24 sila, dalawa talaga hindi na makaboto. Si Jingo Estrada na nakakulong na hindi naman pwedeng i-compel ng Senate kasi pwedeng i-compel ng Senate ang attendance Tapos si Bato na nagtatago. So there are 24 less 2. At based on that, 12 of the 22 said, tanggalin na natin lahat ngayon, baguhin natin ngayon. Although hindi namin ma-elect ang Senate President, tama ang gawin na our majority kami deciding. Hindi makikialam ang Supreme Court dun Kasi internal yun So, sino magsasabing tama yung 10? Sabi ng 10, mali kayo, kami ang tama. Sila-sila rin yun. So, the Senate normally works with the majority, di ba? Sino yung majority? Hindi naman pwedeng yung 10 ang magro-rule despite the fact na kulang na sila sa boto. So for me, yung argument, yung basis, yung foundation nung mga opposition nung 10 seems to me very absurd Kasi 10 lang kayo 12 yung nagsasabi na tama sila
Oo. Bumujay with your follow-up kay attorney.
Attorney, will there be a constitutional crisis kung ipilit ni Cayetano and Gatchalian na sila talaga yung legal na Senate President or mayroong legal remedy and precedents dito, Attorney?
Hindi naman constitutional, no? Magiging crisis ng Senate. Kasi pag constitutional, you're pitting one department to another, like the judiciary versus legislative. Tapos may impasse silang dalawa. Kasi tripartite tayo, yan matatawag natin constitutional crisis. This is right now a Senate crisis for them. Pero it should be resolved among them. Kaya it's just, magulo sila. Kaya ang nangyayari sa kanila is sirang-sira ang kanilang sirang-sira ang image ng Senado ngayon, reputation. Imagine mo kahapon, merong hearing puno. Hindi ko maintindihan kung how will they justify that hearing na wala namang pipirma nung any report na yung gagawin nila at mag-hearing na naman sa Monday. So, it definitely is a crisis in the Senate, but there are definite numbers now. There are 12 on one side and 10 on the other side. And I'm not sure why the 10 can actually say na sila yung tama, mali yung 12. Kasi pag binagbotohan mo yan, kaya hindi sila nag-session hindi sila umattend ng session Kung magkaroon sila ng, say, dumating silang lahat, 22 silang lahat, pag may bumoto dyan, 12 yung boboto na tama sila. Tapos 10 yung hindi. So sinong mananalo dapat in a Senate na deliberative tsaka majority votes? So what's happening now is that the 10, it's sort to me parang tyranny of the minority, na sinasabi lang kami tama, pero wala kayong boto So that's just an absurd situation for me.
Mention natin yung hearing na nangyari kahapon, Attorney Noy. So the follow-up here is, pwede bang burahin sa Senate record yung naganap na Senate Blue Ribbon hearing kahapon, Attorney?
I think at some point, pagka pinag-usapan na yan sa session ng plenary, I'm sure somebody in the 12 will move that it be struck off record kasi parang ang sabi nila unauthorized, di ba? Ng words ni Tito Soto. It may come to that point. And then, siyempre magbobotohan sila. Paano mo ngayon i-insist na ipasok sa record, magbobotohan tayo, how many votes do you have? You probably have 10, the other side has 12. So sino mananalo? So talagang medyo performance yung kahapon, and it confuses people at hindi mo tuloy malaman na kung ano yung interest na ginagawa ito. And talagang ngayon yung PR exercise lahat ito kahapon tinira lahat ng mga kalaban ng ng mga Duterte camp which is represented by the 10. Ang problema lang nila kahapon, in the testimony of the 18, in one statement, by the way, kasama doon si Loren Legarda, nakasama na nila, kasama rin doon si Senator Villar, na kuno binigyan din ng mga maleta. Pero hindi diniscuss yung kahapon, kasi nung ginawa yung statement na yon, kalaban pa si Loren at si Mark Villar ngayon kakampi na nila no? So hindi nila pinag-usapan kahapon. So it just doesn't make sense.
Sa ating mga listeners and viewers, parang mayroong selective reading yung nangyari
Yes.
kahapon dito sa hearing. Pero how damaging is this leadership dispute, attorney, to the credibility and independence of the Senate as an institution?
Very damaging, very damaging. It's not just for the Senate but for the country. Tama yung mga analysis ng iba kasi yung investor confidence wala And ako, I will relate this also to our defeat in the UN Security Council kahapon nung January 3. Natalo tayo in a running for the for the one seat, non-permanent seat in the Security Council. Natalo tayo ng Kyrgyzstan na hindi masyadong kilala, no? Pero natalo tayo. But I think the whole image of the country is shot. Na ang sama ng buong image natin. Imagine the Vietnamese president, no? Who came here and who's supposed diplomatically to meet with the president of who then was Alan Cayetano of the Senate, did not meet him. So, ang ibig sabihin, sa mga diplomats, mabigat yun no? Na indication na, no, foreigners are normally diplomatic, saka courteous and everything, hindi nila pakikialaman yung internal. Pero pag nakita mo yung mga ganong action, alam mo, the international community is worried about the Philippines, no? Tapos yung mga nangyaring putukan, yung mga takbo ni Senator Bato sa hagdan na nalaglag siya, covered lahat siya ng CNN, covered ng New York Times. And do you think we're not being affected abroad sa ating image? We are. Hindi lang ng Senado, kundi tayong lahat. Kaya napakabigat po nito. Hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit hindi nila pag-usapan ito. For the sake of the country. Kasi lahat naman sila, sinasabi nila, national interest ng hinahabol namin dito. Why can you get together and then settle this? You're all matured, old people, pero hindi nila masettle. At ang nagbabayad po niyan tayong lahat.
Oo. Mamujay.
Aside sa international na concerns dito na about sa relationship dito sa international Philippines, lastly on my end, gaano kalaki yung epekto nito, yung kasalukuyang Senate divide sa ating national concerns, especially the impeachment and other things and other matters dito, attorney?
Mabigat po kasi isama na po natin yung dati nating presidente humaharap sa crimes against humanity. Alam mo, sa buong mundo, sa Asia, wala pang ganon. First time yon. Now here we are, Philippines, sinasabi natin tayo ay partner sa peace, etc. In fact, we presented ourselves sa Security Council na ganon. Elect nyo kami kasi kami makakatulong kami sa pag-aayos ng international relationships. Pero hindi natin maayos internally yung ginagawa natin and everybody knows that. So, masisira po talaga tayo. I've been in the UN. I was a delegate in the UN for the longest time. I was actually part of the delegation of the Philippines at the Security Council when we had it in 2004, 2005. No? Nandun ako And I know how it is. Alam ng lahat naman nangyayari sa ating bansa. Alam nila. And they look down or look up to you depending on how you actually manage yourself. You try to manage yourself and then be respectful. And then when you face your counterparts in the international community, and they will respect you. Pero with this thing happening, circus and clowns sa ating Senado ngayon, and impeachment, Vice President, and many, many senators and congressmen being accused of corruption, plunder, and former President hailed in The Hague, and probably 2 more senators being hailed there for crimes against humanity. And to be honest about it, sorry na lang, a very weak president right now who cannot manage this all. Ang resulta niya talagang walang respeto sa ating international community. So that's just a sad thing to say, unfortunately.
Okay. Oo. Diyan po susunod yung follow-up ko. Ano, last na lamang na katanungan, Attorney. Ano, kasi ang sabi ng mga dating sundalo kahapon is parang nakapagbigay din sila ng suhol doon sa mga investigator ng International Criminal Court via Senator Antonio Trillanes. So, gaano ba kadali na magbigay ng suhol kung sakali mang totoo po ito, kung sakasakali, Attorney?
Hindi, it's impossible to think na totoo nangyari yan. It's just crazy. Yung ganyang claims na ganyan. Remember, lumabas sila nung kino-confirm yung charges, di ba? Noong February 25 or 26, kino-confirm yung charges at The Hague. So talagang may, may messaging, may gustong sabihin. And then one of their claims is, or was, sinuhulan din namin yung mga prosecutors na yan eh. I mean, sino maniniwala sa kanila? Walang naniniwala sa kanila outside of the circles that are managing them. Tapos ngayon, binigyan sila ng magandang projection kahapon, etc., etc., pinagsalita sila. Pero nung umpisa pa lang, shot na yan eh. Kasi alam mo, the first thing na itatanong mo, lahat kayo, 18, isa lang ang experience nyo at inilagay nyo sa isang affidavit lang, hindi kayo iba-iba. So talagang orchestrated to. Tapos inamin nila yung pagkakamali nila, kay De Lima, na ngayon inaamin nila parang ang pagkakasabi ng sundalo, hindi siya abogado, hindi siya marunong mag-explain legally. Akala namin, siya ni congressman, kaya sinama namin. You see, wala talagang factual basis. So everything will fall into evidence. Hindi lang yung testimony nila yan eh. Kasi madaling gumawa ng kwento. Kaya yun po ang, tapos nga, as we pointed out earlier, selective talaga yung reading nila. Ngayon, di basa nyo, pati si Loren, pati si Mark Villar, isama nyo, di sabihin nyo, ba't hindi nyo isama? Kasi kasama nila ngayon. So, yun po, very short yun for me. At lalabas yun pag tinanong sila ng mga taong medyo contentious yung tanong sa kanila, makikita mo yung inconsistency yan. I think lalabas lahat yan.
Okay. Attorney, again, thank you so much for joining us sa Bombo Radio Philippines. Attorney Jojo Lacaninaw, sir. Maraming salamat. Ingat po kayo, sir.
Salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Ang isa po sa mga batikang abogado, mga kabombo, si Attorney Jojo Lacaninaw at law professor ng De La Salle University College of Law.
For the most trusted source of news and information, visit our website at www.bomboradio.com. Follow us on Bombo Radio mobile app, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and X, formerly Twitter. Like, share, and stay connected. Anytime, anywhere.